Hello there, nature enthusiasts and lovers of all things adorable. Get ready to have your minds blown wider than a deer spotting a car approaching with headlights off, because today we're diving headfirst into the wonderful world of white-tailed deer. We've got 20 fun-filled facts about these fascinating creatures, and trust me, you're going to want to stick around for all of them. We're talking leaping deer, weird noises, and more questionable dietary choices than a raccoon in a dumpster. Buckle up! Let's kick things off with a real barn burner, the name. White-tailed deer, shockingly, named after their tails, which are, wait for it, white. It's like naming a human a two-legged talker. Not exactly the most creative label, but hey, at least it's accurate. Now, let's talk about their moves. You think you can dance? Check out this footage of a white-tailed deer practically reinventing parkour. That's right, Bambi's out here doing the triple axel over logs like it's nothing. It's both impressive and slightly embarrassing for those of us who trip on flat surfaces. White-tailed deer, everyone's favorite backyard lawn ornaments, are shockingly not just there for aesthetic purposes. Turns out, they eat. And their diet? Well, let's just say it makes a juice cleanse look like a 5-course meal at the French Laundry. We're talking twigs, leaves, grass, the kind of stuff you'd find in the clearance bin of a grocery store. Let's be honest, the only thing cuter than a baby animal video is a baby animal video narrated by someone pretending to be me. And lucky for you, that's what you've got. These adorable fawns with their big eyes and wobbly legs are basically nature's version of those videos where people try to walk in high heels for the first time. Endlessly entertaining. Now, you might think losing your antlers would be a traumatic experience, like realizing halfway through the day that you're wearing mismatched socks. But for male deer, it's as normal as, well, a politician flip-flopping on a key issue. Every year, they just cast those antlers aside like yesterday's news, leaving you to wonder, did I imagine those? You might think that with a name like doe-eyed, deer would be more romantic. Turns out the males, or bucks, are mostly solitary. They're like that friend who suddenly remembers they have plans when a significant other appears. The females, does, are more social, hanging out in groups. It's like a never-ending bachelorette party, except instead of tequila shots, they're eating twigs. With their brown coats blending seamlessly into the woods, white-tailed deer are masters of disguise. They make camouflage look easy. Seriously, it's like they attended a weekend seminar and came back experts. They could teach a CIA operative a thing or two about disappearing. Honestly, finding a well-hidden deer in the woods is like trying to find a decent rom-com, nearly impossible. These ungulates weren't built for leisurely strolls in the park. When startled, a white-tailed deer can reach speeds of up to 40 miles per hour. That's faster than your average toddler on a sugar rush, and trust me, those little legs can move. They could probably outrun a moderately motivated cheetah on a good day. You might think with a name like white-tailed deer, that water would be their kryptonite. But no, these woodland wanderers are surprisingly good swimmers. It's basically the deer version of finding out your accountant is secretly a rave DJ. You'd never expect it, but then you see the GoPro footage and you're like, all right, Brenda, get it! Winter is a rough time to be a deer. It's cold, food is scarce, and you can't even find a decent pumpkin spice latte. So what do? Well, they basically go into energy-saving mode, moving less and eating whatever they can find. It's like they invented the concept of Netflix and chill, except it's more like bark and shiver. Just like a landlord putting up a no pets allowed sign, the monsters, deer, are big on marking their territory. But instead of passive-aggressive notes, they use a delightful combination of pee, poo, and scent glands. It's basically the deer equivalent of saying, "This is my property value you're impacting, Brenda." And if you thought these adorable goofballs couldn't get any more impressive, hold on to your hats, folks, because they come equipped with built-in night vision goggles. Well, not literally. That would be terrifying. Imagine a deer in Ray-Bans, but they can see much better in low light than we can, thanks to a little something called a tapetum lucidum. Try saying that 5 times fast, or once even. Now let's talk about the sweet symphony of sounds that deer use to communicate. From gentle grunts to alarming snorts, these aren't exactly the Vienna Boys choir, but they get the job done. And if you're lucky, you might even hear a fawn bleating for its mother, which sounds suspiciously like a sound a human toddler makes when you take away their iPad. Of course, being prey in the animal kingdom is basically like living life in a constant game of tag, but with much higher stakes. Luckily, deer have evolved some pretty slick moves to avoid becoming lunch. We're talking bursts of speed, impressive agility, and a zigzagging running style that would make even the most seasoned NFL running back jealous. If you enjoyed these whimsical facts, don't forget to subscribe for more funny animal videos. You might think deer life is all about munching grass and nervously looking for predators, but sometimes, well, these guys just want to cut loose. We've got footage of deer engaging in what can only be described as playing tag, king of the hill, and, dare I say it, spin the bottle? Look, I don't know the rules, but that fawn definitely looks like it just got dared to lick a lamppost. These ungulates are basically the Bear Grylls of the woods, minus the drinking your own pee thing. Scientists believe deer use a combination of scent, memory, and possibly even the Earth's magnetic field to navigate, which frankly puts my reliance on a GPS that's constantly trying to send me to a cow pasture in Delaware to shame. Oh yes, the age-old tale of humans and deer, a complex tapestry of awe, annoyance, and the occasional, "Oh God, please don't eat my prize-winning petunias." We've all been there, haven't we? One minute you're admiring their grace, the next you're locked in a staring contest as they decimate your vegetable garden like a 4-legged hoofed combine harvester. And just when you thought you could escape the suburbs, surprise! Deer are moving in next door. That's right, they're trading in acres of forest for meticulously manicured lawns and the occasional discarded Starbucks cup. Look, I'm not saying they're here for the cappuccinos, but the evidence is suggestive. Let's be honest, some of the stuff people believe about deer is more ridiculous than a seagull with a monocle trying to hail a taxi. You know, like the idea that feeding deer 1 carrot will somehow make them addicted to your garden? Please. They're deer, not crack-addled raccoons. And finally, did you know that despite their reputation for being skittish herbivores, deer actually enjoy the occasional nibble on, wait for it, dead fish? Yes, you heard that right. Turns out Bambi has a taste for seafood. Who knew? So there you have it, folks. 20 whimsical facts about white-tailed deer that prove they're more than just overgrown squirrels with good PR. From their surprising seafood snacks to their antler-shedding antics, these creatures are undeniably fascinating. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to try and train a seagull to hail a taxi. I have a monocle with its name on it. But before I go, tell us about your most memorable deer encounters in the comments below. Because, let's be honest, we all have a good deer story. And if you don't, just make one up. It's the internet, nobody's checking.